In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to use Tappits easily to get letters and numbers onto your cake. Before I figured out how to use these the right way, I was always frustrated with them. But there's a few things I've learned along the way that really help. Number one, whatever medium you're using, you want to get it really thin. Here I'm using fondant. You can use gum paste. You can use modeling chocolate, though I think it's going to be a little trickier to get the letters and numbers out of the Tappits. So I would stick to fondant with a little Tylose or some gum paste. Roll it out really thin. When you think you've got it thin enough, roll it out thinner. I promise you here. I'm telling you, it's just way easier to get them out when they're thin, when your medium is very thin. Okay, and then you want a lot of powdered sugar or a lot of corn starch, whichever one you use, and get that on the actual Tappits and on your medium as well. And then you can put your Tappits on top and kind of push down as hard as you can, and like I'm doing, kind of move back and forth against your solid surface there. And that's going to help cut those letters out when you do that, when you move it back and forth, push down, moving back and forth. You can lay the whole stick right along the medium like I did at first. I need a lot of letters for this name, and a lot of them are in that whole first Tappit section. Or you can just kind of go across this way if you just need a certain letter you want to use. But by rubbing it against that board and using enough powdered sugar or cornstarch, you can just peel it right off like I just did and flip it over, tap. Usually a gentle tap will do it. Sometimes you got to tap a little bit harder, but you can see they come out beautifully. They're not distorted. They're great. So the trick is a lot of powdered sugar or cornstarch and rolling your medium out really thin. You do not want it to be sticky at all. Okay, so I am writing Michael, and my brother-in-law was turning 40 for this cake. So I'm writing his name on the cake, writing in quotes, with my Tappits, and a 40. So this is just an easy way of getting your letters onto your cake once you've got them cut out. I just put a little shortening onto a cosmetic sponge like so, and then push the sponge onto the letter to pick it up, and then slip some sort of either palette knife, I've got my X-Acto knife here, in between the sponge and the letter to pick it up off of the sponge, and then I can gently place it onto the cake. Like I said, I'm using shortening because that way, once I get it onto the cake, I can move it around a little bit without ruining my paint job, without ruining the surface of the cake at all. If you use water, it's kind of stuck where you first put it on. And you know when you're putting these letters on cake, you don't get it right the first time. You need to scooch it around a little bit. So shortening is just the perfect medium for that. So again, I just put a little shortening onto the block sponge here. Then I flip the letter over, pick it up with the sponge, and then get that X-Acto in between the sponge and the letter so that I can easily transfer it to the cake. And you can see me just moving it around into place. It is also very helpful if you have created some sort of mark on your cake in order, like a line that you can line all the letters up on, if that's possible without ruining the look of your cake. But this technique works really well for me, and it's never frustrating to use my Tappits anymore. See how I made this full bucket of wings and two tool belt cake tutorial. You can come on over to cakeheads.com. The full tutorial is over there. We'd love to have you join our Cakeheads family, where we have a community group where we share all kinds of information every single day, along with access to all the tutorials on the site. It's a great place to be to learn the art of cake decorating, and we'd be honored to have you with us. See you later.